Hey YouTube, 4JP500 here, and today I'm going to do a short review on my new, or my old KWA USP Tactical. I say it's old because I've had this for probably a year now. Never did a review on it. Earlier I did a review on a spring one I had. I don't even know who made it. The Umarex H&K Spring USP. This one's a gas blowback. Made by KWA, $155 on Airsoft GI. It's a really good deal. Also, I'm using a new camera. I wanted to get a quick video in with that. It's in HD, so it should be a lot better quality than my old ones were. I like this gun. Magazine capacity is 25 rounds, just like the Springer I had. Gas goes in the bottom. It's propane powered, or green gas. If you don't know that green gas guns can take propane, then you're a little behind the times. Like the magazine, you pull the spring down and it locks. Some gas magazines are a pain because you have to hold it down and put them in. It locks down, you hit the button, it comes back up. Magazine is metal. The upper slide is anodized aluminum. It's really good. The lower receiver is a polymer, which is actually I think what the real USP is made out of. This one's licensed by H&K. I don't know if you can see it. There's HK trademarks all over this thing. There's one right there. There's one on this side of the magazine. There's one on this side of the magazine. There's one, or on the magazine, or the hand grip, sorry. There is one underneath on the magazine. It says 45 on the side and an indent there. So I mean it looks pretty realistic. And when it's in the gun, without the orange tip, which is threaded, 16 millimeter clockwise threading, which is pretty uncommon. Most of them are 14 counterclockwise. So if you do find a suppressor for it, it's going to look pretty nice. I do have one. I don't have the adapter for it. I used to have it. I'm not sure what happened to it. Anyway, the features of this magazine, there's a little pin in the bottom here. You push that down and the base plate will slide off, and there's two pins on the bottom, and you take like a ice pick or something and you punch them out. Take a needle nose, pull them out, and the whole bottom part will come off. And there's a little rectangular rubber O-ring and a cylinder in there, which is where the gas goes in. And then you can do the same thing to the top. There's two pins right here. Push those two out, and the upper lip will come off, and there's an O-ring in there. So if you're, and you also have your fill valve right there. You can take a flat head and carefully unscrew that. So if your magazines do start leaking, you just sit them in a little Ziploc bag of silicone, 100% silicone oil for about 24 hours, and they'll resurface to the right shape, and it won't have any leaks. If you do charge your magazine and you think it's leaking, sit it in like 2 inches of water, like in your sink. It's not going to hurt the magazine. Sit it in and see if you see bubbles coming up. If you do, front or back, that's a telltale sign of what the problem is, and it's an easy fix. So I really like having gas guns because they're just so low maintenance. As long as if you're using propane, you put in silicone into your propane tank, because if you don't, then it's gonna just wear your O-rings out. So moving on to the gun, I'll start from the bottom. There is a pistol lanyard thing here, which I'm actually wearing my tactical belt right now with my leg holster. This goes in right there, attaches to the belt. I do have another thing that attaches to the belt that holds onto this. If I would draw it and drop it, it would just catch it. It still hits the ground, but I'm not going to lose it. So that's nice. I already said, well, textured pistol grip, nice texturing in the back. Ambidextrous magazine release, right and left, push down, magazine comes out. There is a match trigger. This gun is double action, meaning that when you pull the trigger, the hammer goes back at the same time. If you can pull this back, it makes the trigger go back, so it's a lighter trigger pull. This is probably like a half pound to a pound trigger pull when it's all the way back. It's really light. It's really nice to get those like double and triple tap. Alright, the gun is individually serial numbered right here, so I mean, if you wrote down that number and put it in your wallet, and then someone's like, hey, that's my gun, and I'm like, no, it's not. Pull out your wallet, you show them the serial number, it's yours, you can prove it. Can't do that with many guns. There is a slide catch right here in the it's only for righties. I'm left-handed, but I can still hit it with my index finger, and that releases the slide. Also, if you run out of ammo, it'll stay back, so you know you don't have to keep dry firing, and you just drop your mag, put in a new mag, and then hit the slide release, and it chambers a new one, you're ready to fire. Makes for pretty fast reloads. It does have the trigger guard is extended for a gloved finger, so if you do play in the cold weather, gas guns don't work very well in cold weather, but if you do play in cold weather, you're going to be able to wear gloves and still pull the trigger. I didn't know this, but on the match trigger, it can be adjusted. There's a little disc back there that if you tilt it, it has a screw on it and it goes back. So you can adjust your trigger, which I didn't know that. I actually had it all the way out, and I would pull the trigger and it wouldn't fire. It would hit it. It would hit the back of there. That prevents the trigger from having too much strain on it. If someone pulls it really hard, it'll pull past where it engages, which is bad for it. So if you adjust it perfectly, you can pull it real hard, which I have it all the way in, which is how it's supposed to be. You pull it real hard, it's not going to hurt your gun. So that's a nice feature too. It does have a proprietary rail underneath. I think you might be able to put a 20 millimeter like laser or flashlight on it. I have heard you do need an adapter for it, but I mean, you could always try it. It looks like it's 20 millimeter. You could just try a laser or something on it. It does have a steel guide rod in the front, which is nice. Um, some guns have plastic guide rods. I'm not a fan of those. Some guns don't have guide rods, um, which some people like it because you can like pull it back real quick to chamber check. But again, if I'm on my last bullet and I fire, it's gonna stay back. So I don't really worry about how many rounds I have left. The barrel isn't metal, it's a polymer, but they did that because um, it resists changes to temperature a lot better. At least I think so. Um, Metal barrels, once they get cold, they stay cold. This resists the change, so you'll get a better FPS in cold weather. It does have adjustable hop up. All KWA pistols have that little like disc in there. You take a flathead or the little tool that comes with it, and I think you turn it clockwise for more hop and counterclockwise for less hop. I don't even remember. I mean, you just tilt it and it turns the hop up on or off. Um, this gun does have the safety's ambidextrous as well on the right and left side. And if you push it down, it will decock the gun. So if you want to like holster it while it's chamber, like while there's one in the chamber, like if I had gas and BBs in here and I racked it and I put it in my holster, there's a real light trigger pull, so it might go off while I have it in my holster. But if you decock it and push up, it's on safe and it's been decocked. So as soon as you draw it, all you do is just push down the safety and fire. So that's pretty nice. It does have an adjustable rear sight. The front sight is also adjustable for left and right, um, but for some reason mine would move on me a little bit, so I glued it down right in the center. So I think you still can adjust the rear sight for windage and elevation. I can't say you'll be adjusting it for elevation though. Um, I think mine shoots a little bit to the left, so I might have to do something with that. You unscrew this screw here and then you can move it left or right. You move it to the right to make your shot go to the right, and then you move it to the left to make it go to the left. So I should move it to the right a little bit maybe. Um, that's pretty much it for the external features. I mean, it's really nice. It shoots around 350 feet per second on a decent day. On a real hot day, it'll shoot maybe 380 and trail down to about 360, but I can consistently get 350 out of it on a good day. I played like 2 weeks ago and it was clocking in at like 320. But again, it was a cold day, so it was like 50 degrees out. That's not the best for gas guns, but it was still working. Um, I'm gonna do a shooting test for this gun. A real short one. I'll put like one mag through it. That's about it. So, 4JP 500 with the review of the KWA USP Tactical, licensed by H&K through UMREX. It's a handful to say, or a mouthful to say, but upcoming next is the shooting test.